Hello, my name is Jason Overell, and I am the founder of the Targa Trophy and Mega Run series of driving events. Today, I've been invited by Rusnak Auto Group to test out the all-new 2019 Jaguar I-Pace. This car happens to be electric, and it's my first time driving an electric car. So when you finally step into the Jaguar I-Pace and get behind the wheel, the driving experience is definitely futuristic. I mean, we're talking about, obviously, this is a fully electric car. Coming from a background driving sports cars and supercars, getting into an electric car is a really interesting situation because you're used to sort of a visceral connection that you get from these sports cars that is different in an electric car. You're not really sacrificing anything in an electric car. If anything, you might be gaining a lot more, especially in a car such as this I-Pace that is meant to be a daily driver, family type car. There is a ton of power on tap, especially in the low end from 0 to 60, freeway speeds. You're talking about over 400 horsepower, 500 foot-pound of torque in an electric form. And the way this car's set up with the all-wheel drive, you pretty much are going to smoke anything on the road. And you have enough power for any situation you'll be in on the streets. I think sometimes people think about electric cars being sort of very different than your normal gas-powered cars. And the reality is that they're not. It's a very simple car to drive. You have a lot of the same features that you get with, normal gas-powered cars. You've got different power modes at your disposal here, from an eco mode that helps you save battery power as you're driving, to a sport mode that gives you full electric power for whenever you need it. You've got different ride height levels on the car, different handling modes. And the way that everything's laid out in this I-Pace, it's just really easy to use, and all the functionality is really top notch. Yeah, dude, the power is crazy on this thing. This I-Pace is delivering the full package between performance, electric economy, and utility, which you really can't beat for an all-around car in today's market. Another interesting characteristic when you're actually driving the I-Pace, you're used to driving gas-powered cars. Braking is obviously an important dynamic of what you have to do as a driver. In certain cars, engine braking is a bit more of a dynamic than others, especially when you're talking about high-performance cars. With this I-Pace and the way that the electric motor's set up, you've got a regenerative braking characteristic that really sort of changes the driving dynamic in this car, because you now don't need to ride the brakes to bring the car to a stop. When you let off the gas, the car brakes with such force, you don't even need to put your foot on the brake pedal, which sort of gives this car another element of ease of use, because now you really can kind of drive this car differently than your normal car without having to ride the brake as much, and really kind of utilizing the characteristics of the regenerative braking. Obviously, for people that come from a background of driving gas-powered cars, one of the main concerns about electric cars is the fact that the range that these batteries allow you to drive are a bit hit or miss. This I-Pace delivers a range equation that is definitely on the upper tier of the spectrum. On a full charge, you're looking at over 230 miles of range, which is exceptional in a car of this caliber that gives you so much performance and usability. From an infotainment standpoint, the interface here on this Jaguar is your sort of typical Jaguar Land Rover interface. You've got your navigation, media, and telephone functionality all on this really cool touchscreen interface. Jaguar is one of the most historic brands in all of automotive, and now that they've taken this step into the world of electric cars, you still feel the heritage of Jaguar in this I-Pace. Now it's sort of in its futuristic form, if you will. But one of the biggest characteristics of Jaguar is the fact that they've built some of the most historic high-performance cars of all time. When you're driving this I-Pace, you get that feel of the Jaguar brand in this electric, futuristic form. This Jaguar I-Pace delivers all those elements that you would expect from the heritage of the Jaguar brand in a futuristic electric format that is the I-Pace. And after now spending some time with this car, I would 100% recommend you checking one out and giving it a test, because this definitely could be your next car of choice.
Rusnak, your road awaits.